It is 7 o'clock, so we will kick ourselves off and get moving here. So my name is Andrew Shaw. I'm the manager of rugby operations with Rugby Alberta. I'm happy to be with you here tonight to present a little bit about our summer Wolfpack programs, our U17 boys and girls programs, and our U19 boys and girls programs. So thank you for taking the time out of your evening to join us and to learn a little bit more about these programs. So we will get firing through here right away. So here's our roadmap for tonight. We're going to talk about what our Wolfpack programs look like generally, our eligible birth years for this year, some key pieces for each of our U17 and U19 programs, a little peek at what our team fees will look like for this year. Then we'll move into some selection criteria pieces and some breakout rooms with coaches from our 4 teams. So as I've kind of indicated on the screen here, questions about logistics, planning, organization, if we can try to kind of address these in the first 2/3 of our time, that would be wonderful. And then we'll save questions to the coaches for things about what they're looking for from our players, what they're looking for out of the sessions that we have in our programs, just ways that you all can either put yourselves, your family members, your players that you're coaching in the best possible light to make the teams and be selected for the teams. And then if you have a question, please feel free to email it to me if we don't have time to address it tonight, or if it needs a little bit deeper discussion or anything like that. Right. So we will carrying on. So I wanted to start with a little bit of a roadmap about what makes up a Wolfpack program. So regardless of which age group, which level, this is kind of the outline that you will see for our programs throughout the year. So we go through a phase of program planning. We hire our team staff. Our team staff contribute to that program planning. We're at this point right now in between team staff hiring and selection events. Selection events are tryouts, training camps, any way that players are being evaluated, into our final selection, into training as a team, into a competition, and then into some review after the competition to set ourselves up to be bigger, better, faster, stronger the next time around. Right. So we'll pull these out a little bit through the night tonight in terms of what these steps look like for our U17 and U19 programs. Okay. So first off, our eligible birth years for the 2026 programs. For U17, it is 2009 and 2010 birth dates. For U19, it's 2007 and 2008 birth dates. So unless we are told specifically by a host or tournament organizer, we assume that there are no age dispensations available for the competitions. So far, we haven't received any indication on that one way or the other. So we're going forward with these age bands because we know that these are the core ages for our programs. And dispensations we can handle outside if there is a situation that it is merited or required, and if we're even allowed. So we'll get right in here to the U17 Wolfpack. So our U17 Wolfpack this year, the competition that we have arranged for this program is to play a 3-game series in August against Rugby Ontario's branch teams. So Rugby Ontario's branch teams are the equivalent of our sub-unions. So they have 4 branches. We'll play against 3 of them over a week. So that trip will take place from August 24th to August 30th with 3 games on that trip. We'll be based out of our home base in Brampton, Ontario, right at the Brampton Rugby Club there, which is very close to Pearson International Airport as well. So we'll have a nice home base and a nice setup for that trip, and hopefully you'll have a really fantastic experience out of that. So Our team staff for this year, you'll see on the screen here our boys team staff. Michael McTighe is returning as our head coach, and we're really excited to have David Shamil and Andrew White as our assistants this year to round out our coaching group. And then Connor Robertson as our manager, bringing a lot of experience from the school side of it with leading trips and tours and different programs for kids out of that. So really exciting group on our boys team staff side. Our girls team staff, again, a couple returning faces here with Brianne Morgan as the head coach and Steph Gervais as one of the assistant coaches. Happy to have them back. And then having Lisa Cunningham on board to round out our coaching staff as well. A very good crew there that we're really excited about. You will notice our team manager role for the U17 girls is TBD. If you know of someone who would be a good fit for managing a Wolfpack team, I am happy to accept a resume and cover letter to my email inbox from someone who's excited to be part of the program and brings relevant experience with leading teams and tours with either a club, a school, or even another sport. That experience is the most important thing. So for our U17 Wolfpack, the selection pathway for the year is going to be pretty simple. Our zone teams, whether that's Deep South Storm, Mavericks, Predators, Gold, Warriors, even possibly Brave Rugby, players will train and get selected for those regional or zone teams. Those zone teams will enter the ARC-15s tournament at the end of June, showcasing skills in game action. Out of the ARC tournament, our U17 coaches will create a long list to be invited to the selection events that happen afterwards. And by the start of August, we'll have a final team selected. Final 24-player roster for each of the boys and girls teams to travel to Ontario. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward, kind of easy to find our way through this process. What that looks like in practice are these key dates. So our ARC-15s tournament is June 27th to 29th. The zone and regional teams will be having tryouts, training, selection. Prior to that, I believe the first ones are actually coming up this Sunday on May 3rd. After ARC, we'll have that first invitational tryout with a little bit larger group on July 5th in Red Deer. We'll narrow that group down to to a smaller subsection for our annual Olds College weekend camp. For that camp, we're aiming to invite the players who have a realistic shot of making the team or being a non-traveling reserve. People who are in the mix don't want to bring people along on that trip, have them pay money to be part of that if they don't have a realistic path to selection. After Olds, one more training session before our final team selection. We'll see where our coaches are at with their confidence in their team at that point. And then we select a couple more training dates in here and then travel to Ontario on August 24th. If you're frantically scrambling with your pen and paper, this will go up on our website, so you don't need to, frantically scribble all these dates down. They will be on our website for you to take a look at afterwards. Might take us a day or two to get it up, but we will have it up there. So, but those are our kind of our rocks in our schedule for the U17 Wolfpack. We'll switch up here to our U19 Wolfpack. The big competition. Oh, sorry, Danielle. I'll let you jump in here.
I was just going to say, for those who are unaware, there's a potential U18 West Canada camp happening August 2nd to 8th. Mm-hmm. So those invites are going to be going out as well. So that camp happens at the beginning of August, and they haven't set a price for that yet, but that's another potential conflict or decision making that on the girls' side anyway, that parents and players would have to be aware of being able to maybe do everything or keep in mind. I'm not sure
Yeah.
when the invites are going out, but that is another part of the calendar.
Yep, I can actually provide you a little bit of clarity on that. So there will be actually both men's and women's unit U18 camps in early August for Canada. The invites will be going out in early July for that. Uh, so I think if I read my notes correctly from my meeting just before this one, August 2nd through 8th will be the Women's West camp in BC. August 8th through 15th will be the U18 camp in Guelph, Ontario. So again, the invites will go out in early July for that. And so we'll see how that impacts this, but we do want to push as many players as we can through our Wolfpack programs onto national team programs. That is part of why we run these programs, is to develop players who get to go on and represent Canada, get to represent our province across the world, and showcase their skills for the entire world to see. So good shout, Danielle. Thanks for adding that in. Perfect. So we'll just switch over to our U19 program. So the U19s will compete at the 2026 Canadian Rugby Championships, which will be in Guelph, Ontario. That tournament will be from July 18th to 26th. It's a 5-team tournament with ourselves, BC, Ontario, Quebec, and Atlantic Canada, playing a 4-game series with the winner determined by the overall standings after that round robin. So they also have a trip to Ontario. For those of you who aren't as familiar, Guelph is a little bit west of the GTA, kind of the next city over from the GTA city limits. So our team staff for the U19 girls, our head coach is Jane Isherwood, and our 2 assistant coaches are Morgan Warner and Sam Gansky. A young, refreshing, exciting team to take us forward. Just like with the U17 girls, we are still on the lookout for a team manager. So again, open to some applications coming in if you have people who are excited to be part of this program. And the CRC is a fantastic experience to be part of with the team. Our boys coaching staff, we have Joe Alamoana graduating from assistant coach to head coach from last year, Sean Tyndall and Nevin Morrison as his assistants, and our team manager is Shauna McGill. Like Connor with the U17 boys, Shauna brings a lot of experience in managing teams. Those of you who are with the Druids, have been around the Druids, you've experienced Shauna's skills firsthand on some of the tours that she's organized with their team. So our U19 Wolfpack selection pathway is a little bit more complicated than our U17 pathway. This is in recognition that not all of our players are high school students. Some of them have graduated to university or onto jobs in the, going straight into the adulthood. So the right half of this pathway will look very similar to the U17 pathway. Zone teams, ARC tournament, some camps, training showcase into that final team selection. The left half is in recognition that some players may be choosing to play club rugby because that's what's most developmentally appropriate for them. So in between that club team participation, that zone team participation, ARC tournament, etc., we'll be hosting some province-wide camps in May and June, as well as trying to get out to each zone area and get some touch points within each zone. So the players are getting more information about how the program is operating, who or what the coaches want to see from the players, what systems and styles the coaches are aiming to implement, and hopefully being able to showcase those things through the gameplay, whether that's with your club or with a zone, showcasing that in the showcase match that we have scheduled, and then into that final team selection. So I guess I should come back a little bit here to this. One of the other driving forces behind this pathway and the additional dates that you're going to see are that we want to have more time for everyone to get on the same page about how we want to play, working with coaching staff, getting used to each other as players, kind of getting out of your own local bubbles a little bit and seeing how others are playing and getting more reps with other players who might be making the team alongside you. Right. So that will hopefully put us in a better spot to compete well at CRC, uh, and not just achieve results, but also for our players, again, to go back to that point of Rugby Canada's pathway. If we're putting out good results at CRC and our players are playing well as a team at CRC, we stand a better chance of putting those players into the national pathways and giving them more opportunities beyond just the Wolfpack. So our key dates for the U19 Wolfpack, we'll have a selection camp in Red Deer on May 24th. After that, in between here, we'll get out to some zone-based sessions, tagging them alongside some of the sessions that are ongoing. Oh,
Okay.
I hear a voice. I'm just gonna mute that.
Oh, it was his fault.
There we go. Awesome. So then we'll have another selection camp on June 14th in Red Deer as well. I do acknowledge that there is a conflict with the Challenge Cup games in Edmonton that day as well. But we do allow some leeway for that if players are competing in that game. That game is also a selection event where players can show their skills. So if they are wanting to commit themselves to their zone team, we'll make sure that we watch that match and make sure that we see it as well. So the overall theme of what we're trying to do here is to meet players where they're at, making sure that we see them more often. We're not just seeing them, once at the ARC tournament, making a decision and moving on. We're trying to see players multiple times in multiple contexts and get the best picture of their skills and capabilities from that. So after our June 14th selection camp, the next kind of big event on the schedule is that ARC 15s tournament. Weekend following, we showcase game in Red Deer. We'll pick the top 40 players, make 2 teams, and let the players show their skills there. Hopefully implementing the kind of gameplay and styles that our Wolfpack coaches want to see and that we've kind of downloaded through these selection camps and zone-based sessions. Immediately after that game, get our final team selection in, and then we're a rush through from that final team selection into our Olds camp and then into flying to Ontario for CRC on July 18th. Angie.
Sorry, are these selection camps open, or like how are you making selections for the camp?
So we're going to start with an open process for the first one, and then if we do need to narrow it down because we've gotten too large of a group, we will. But we don't want to rule players out from the very beginning. So just to tack on here. Oh, sorry, Kyle.
So how many do you have on the choosing committee? Like how many people are scouting or what have you?
So right now it's our coaching staff. If they need more support, we'll pull them in. We are very blessed that we will have access to video for quite a bit of action that we can review as well. On top of that.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. So just to keep on the same theme and topics that we covered with the U17, I will throw in some info about that further Rugby Canada pathway following the return. Okay. Sorry, I see another question relating to this schedule. So for Olds training, it's not full day on Friday. It would be an evening session on Friday, July 10th. And for the dates to Ontario, the dates do include travel days. So for the Rugby Canada side, the Rugby Canada pathway that our U19 Wolfpack will be looking at is the Rugby Canada under 20 programs. So the under 20 men's, I have some info here for that. The under 20 men's will be hosting a camp in August following CRC. And then the U20 men's Canada team will be taking part in the World Rugby U20 Challenger event from late September to about mid-October. So that's kind of the next step on the Rugby Canada pathway for the men. For the women, there's a few opportunities floating in there, but none directly after CRC like there are for the men. Cool. So moving on to team fees. So on the screen here, you'll see our projected team fees for these two programs. So each program is looking at 18. Sorry, let me just make sure I got my math right. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So we're looking at 7 or 8 days trip for each program, including those travel days. And so we're looking at approximately 2,000 to 2,500 per team. You will notice on the screen here, I've got some costs listed. So these are costs that we know right now are fairly certain that make up part of these team fees. So our flights to Ontario are about $900 a person for either trip. We have our meal costs here. Some meals are through the CRC tournament. Some meals we've been able to arrange ourselves and get different pieces, different style of accommodations for each trip. U17 looking at hotel, U19 looking at the University of Guelph dorm style accommodation. And then with our schedule, with the fact that the only players at the U19 level that should be coming to the Olds camp are players who are either on the final roster or who are on non-traveling reserves. We will build that Olds camp fee into the team fee so that it's not a double piece, right? Some additional factors that I do want to highlight up here in the top right are some of the pieces that will work to drive costs down, and that we will continue to try to firm up as we go here. So we've got subsidies that may come from Rugby Alberta or the sub-union. We've got for CRC, for the U19s, some costs that Rugby Canada might put some money towards. Any sponsorships that we're able to raise, any revenue that we're able to generate from our ARC tournaments that can come in. So we've got some pieces both on the expenses side and on the revenue side that we're still trying to firm up, and that's why I'm giving you a range of the prices. And just for some context, for some historical background, so 2025, our CRC project, we actually hosted here in Calgary. So our team fee was much lower because we didn't have flights on there. Our 2024 CRC trip, our fee for that was $2,000. So the any over 2,000 that we are is fairly on par for the cost of things nowadays, and not out of line with what we've been historically, kind of for that week-long competition trip, right? One other piece that that I want to note here, just so that we're completely upfront and transparent with cost-wise for yourselves, is that this year we've started a new policy around team kit, where we want to give people the option that if they already have Wolfpack shorts, training top, sweater, socks, that they don't need to keep repurchasing them as part of their team fee every year. So if you don't have those items already, there will be an additional cost to that. If you need everything, I think for VSI, it added up to an extra $250. But if you already have all those items, then you're not paying any extra. One piece of feed that policy was overwhelmingly, the feedback on it was overwhelmingly positive from VSI this year. But the one piece that really came back to us in terms of constructive criticism that we've taken on board is that players, families, they want a unique item out of their trip, out of their participation. So we will have one unique item for the players from the team fee in there as well. That kind of already is paid for as part of the team fee, right? So we will make sure that there's something in there that's unique to these projects and these experiences. Oh, yes. Yeah. So thank you for that comment, Trinity. So nice thing is there are some default payment plan options that we can use within Play HQ as well. So there are the options to pay in installments. And then the other piece that we're really conscious of, this is a lot of money. I'm not gonna, sugarcoat it, cookie cutter our way around it. It's a lot of money to participate. But the other piece that we're adding in this year is some program-wide fundraising options. So we'll be partnering with an organization called Vertical Raise. They've also worked with Football Alberta. They are a fundraising system that we can use, that athletes can participate in to try to raise money to pay down that overall costs and make their trip more affordable. We really want, with the costs being the way that they are, we really want to offer this kind of default option for people to participate in. One that's easy and doesn't take up kind of nearly as much time and effort. So a couple of the pieces that we really like about Vertical Raise is we can attach the fundraising on an athlete by athlete basis. So athletes will get out what they put in, rather than all contributing to a group pot, and maybe having some hard feelings when somebody doesn't want to put as much effort into fundraising as someone else. Kind of each athlete will get out get out in fundraising, what they put in effort. We also don't need to limit how much athletes can raise. So traditional raffle fundraisers, things like that, often it's you get a certain number of tickets, sell them for a certain amount. With Vertical Raise, we can let people go and try to raise money as much as they want, kind of until their full team fee is paid off. The other piece that we really like is that every donor to an athlete does get a reward out of the exchange as well. It's not just a chance to win something, they get a benefit out of it as well. So if you are selected, you'll be invited to participate in a group fundraising piece through Vertical Raise. So I'm just gonna mute. There we go. Awesome. Okay. So I'm just going to pause here briefly. Are there any other questions about scheduling logistics, any of the organization pieces, things like that at this point?
Nope.
Oh, sorry. I see a question in the chat here. What are the benefits that donors get? So the Vertical Raise platform, it's usually like a gift card or a discount code. So if you are old enough, you remember the coupon book days of a physical coupon book that you would take out, and you rip your coupon out, take it to the local places. It's basically a virtual version of that in terms of the benefit that they get. Awesome. Sorry to be vague on that. I just only had so much room on the slide. Yeah. Awesome. So we'll move more now into some of our selection criteria and what our coaches will be looking for from the athletes that are trying out for our program. Uh, so you'll have an opportunity to talk to the coaching staff from each team in the breakout rooms in a little bit. But I want to talk now just a little bit about the criteria that our coaching staff have identified that they will look for, regardless of the age, regardless of the gender. These are qualities that they believe make up good Wolfpack players, and that kind of they'll be looking for regardless of other pieces. So first one, positive contributor. So we want to see actions that contribute positively to a team environment. So that's off-field actions. That's how you relate to your teammates. Pieces like that are bringing the group up and making it a positive place to be are going to be high on the list. And similarly, coachability. So players demonstrating a willingness to get feedback, to go work on their skills and implement that feedback that they're getting. Those are going to be big pieces for our coaching staff. But kind of tying it together with that positive contribution piece is also how are you driving that coachability in others around you as well. If you not only want to make the team, but you also want to be a leader on the team, those are pieces that our coaching staff are going to look for from you. Obviously, rugby skills are important. So we've got kind of core rugby skills that you need to be able to play at a high level. At some point, those are non-negotiable pieces. We can't take a tight head prop who can't hold up a scrum, for example. So we need to have those skills, whether that's for the preferred position that the player wants or a position that's identified by the coaches that the player could be a good or better fit in. So kind of on the same vein as rugby skills, we're also looking at long-term potential. So whether that's at one of these age grade teams, whether that's with the senior Wolfpack, whether that's even with Rugby Canada and the national teams, we want to look at players who have the potential to continue to contribute to the Wolfpack year over year over year, continue to contribute to Rugby Canada year over year over year. So I say that I add those senior context, I add the Rugby Canada context in here because that doesn't mean that if you are in the oldest year of your age band that you don't have potential. No, you still have potential. It might be for senior, it might be for Rugby Canada, right? But we want to see who can play at a high level for a long time. The last one that we've identified here is passion and commitment to rugby through extra effort and engagement during practices, games, and team activities. Who's showing up, who's putting the work in, who is able to kind of drive those standards among their team, in addition to just their personal action as well. So I see a question coming in kind of as I was talking here. Yes, I can get this PowerPoint slide out to all that have registered. I'll also get it put on our website as well. So we'll make sure that this gets out. This isn't secret info. We do want this to be out there and available to everybody who's interested in the Wolfpack. Because I think that's one of the purposes of getting these selection criteria out is so that if you're a player, if you're a parent of a player, if you're coaching a group of players, knowing what is going to help those players succeed, how you can help them develop, if you are the player, how you can develop, that's going to put you in the best possible position to play for the Wolfpack and to play at a higher level even beyond that. Okay. Any question about these kind of common criteria right now? I would encourage you, if you've got a question along the lines of how do I, like, what specific actions can I do to show that? What specific actions are the coaches looking for to show that? I'd encourage you to ask that in the breakout room as well. So the coaches of the team that you are interested in participating with, ask them what each of these things looks like to them, what specific actions they're going to look for from you that's going to show that you are demonstrating these, right? Kyle.
Sorry, one kind of general question. The ARC tournament, which is, I'm specifically talking for U17, there's a lot of teams playing. Where does the focus go in looking for all this? Like the coaches say, okay, he's a player, he checks all those boxes. Where does the Wolfpack go in terms of eyes on a player or eyes on a certain game that's going on in ARC? Because there is a lot of games going on. I'm just wondering where the focus is.
Oh, absolutely. That's a fantastic problem to point out, because it's definitely one that we always consider how we actually do this. So one of the pieces that we will be doing before the ARC tournament is reaching out to those zone and regional coaches to get senses from them about who the players are that they think could go on to the Wolfpack level. Part of that this year will involve doing some evaluation of the player, some actual kind of writing down what those players' qualities are, where their strengths, where their weaknesses are. So then that information can come in, and our coaches can say, I've got a list of, I don't know, let's say 60 players for the sake of a round number. Well, 20 of them are playing in this game over here. I should probably go watch that game over there. Right. So we can curate that list. We can get a sense of who's worth keeping an eye on from those zone and regional coaches, and use it to focus on the event. But again, the nice thing is that we've got video. We got video all the time for that ARC tournament, so we can make sure that if we can't watch a game live, we can watch it after the fact as well. The other piece that I'll say in terms of like how we know who to watch is we have our Wolfpack intake form. I think probably some of you have already filled that out. Put your name in the hat, so to speak. So that's how we will keep kind of funneling our communication down to the people that really want to know and need to know. So if you are interested in participating with the Wolfpack this year, I encourage you to fill out that form. I'm going to just actually grab the link and put it in the chat right now as well, just so that it's here for you. But this form and the people who fill it out and use it, that's also going to help tell us where to look. If you are filling out our intake form, if you are getting your name in the hat, that helps us identify who actually wants to be part of these programs, who actually wants to put their name forward for selection. That in addition to what our zone and regional coaches tell us, what our community coaches tell us, kind of we talked a lot about U17, but even at U19, what our club coaches tell us, what our university coaches tell us. In addition to all these pieces, the people who are putting their hands up via this form and saying, yes, I want to be involved, they will get a look one way or the other, right? So please do. That's kind of the next step here, is making sure that if you're interested in the program, that you're filling out that form and getting your name in. So we'll curate down our communication here. The info about this meeting, we've really pushed it far and wide. I think I emailed every single registered player from 2007 to 2010 birth years to make sure that they knew that this was happening. But we'll really curate down from here on out to players who have expressed an interest on our intake form, to players that are being recommended to us through our scouting activities, and really making sure that those people are getting the right information. So when we talk about our selection camp on May 24th, the people who are filling out that form and getting getting in the queue there will be getting additional information about that, making sure that they are getting the the info that they need to show up on that day and play well, showcase themselves, and participate in the right way. So also always feel free to email me. Happy to answer questions about the Wolfpack and how you can participate. And then we will get recording from tonight, these slides, as well as some other information up on our website at rugbyalberta.com. So the link in here will take you directly to the Wolfpack page. To put the full URL was going to make my graphic really weird. So that link does go directly to the Wolfpack page, but rugbyalberta.com is where you'll want to head. So our next phase here, we will turn it into some breakout rooms here. So we have some coaches on from each team, and so they will join the breakout room corresponding to their team. And then you all will have the choice as attendees about which room that you want to join. So if you're really interested in hearing from the U17 girls coaches, choose and go in the U17 girls room, and you'll get to be with those coaches and ask them some direct questions from that. So from this point, we'll probably give about 20 minutes in the breakout room to ask some questions and have a little chat. At the end of those 20 minutes, I'll kind of call everybody back to the meeting, and just if there's any more broad questions for the group, I'm happy to answer them then. But if you go in the breakout room, you talk to coaches, you get your question answered, and you want to leave, you are free to leave after that point. But we just want to make the coaches available to you now to have a little bit of a chat with them. I just see another comment in the chat. I'm just gonna, birth years. So to reiterate, yes. So thank you, Danielle. So U19 is 2007, 2008. U17 is 2009, 2010. So that's, if you're born in those years, regardless of what day, what time, what month, you are qualified, eligible for those age groups. Okay. So I will open the rooms up here now. I'll ask our coaches to make sure that they jump over there really quickly. And then I will float around between the rooms and see how it's going after that. So again, I'll open the rooms. Please feel free to select the room that you are most interested in hearing from those coaches. And again, if you get your question answered and you don't need anything else from us, you're free to go, but I will call everybody back after about 20 minutes and just say some final words or answer any additional questions that have come up. Okay. U15 ages. So U15 ages are 2011, 2012. We're not addressing those tonight. I will be sending out some info this week for U15 players about the Alberta Summer Games so that they have some additional info to go and participate with their zones. Okay. So breakout rooms on 3. Maybe 4 or 5. Okay. Yeah, so the rooms are open here now. You're free to join them. I will stay here for a minute or two. And if you have any questions for me directly that you just want to slide in now, feel free to stay here and do that before you jump into a breakout room.
How do we get into a breakout room?
Okay. This is the question. I can barely run them. That's my problem. So do you see a button at the top that says rooms?
No.
No. Okay.
There was a button at the top that it says rooms, and then the breakout rooms show up basically in the messenger area. Gives you 4 rooms, and you can hit join on any one of them.
Is it possible on an iPhone?
Yeah, it should be possible on any format. I'm seeing the presenter view, and that's what my problem is with trying to, maybe if I stop sharing my screen, can I invite somebody else who's having trouble here to share, and maybe I can help troubleshoot that way? Reno?
Yeah, we don't see where we can do room.
I can't either.
There's no room button on top.
Okay, yeah, that's what we're trying to troubleshoot here. So again, is there someone who'd be comfortable sharing their screen so I can help troubleshoot it? Again, I just see the presenter side. I don't see.
It's just the screen. It's not you.
Okay. Maybe.
I don't think we can. We're not presenters, so I don't think we can share screen.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do this. I see a comment in the chat from Julie. So if you're still here, tell me which room you want to join in the chat, and I will send you there.
I'm not able to go in chat. My gosh, Mom. Mom.
It will just take me a second, but I will get you all there. Julie's.
No, just give him a minute.
No, it's not letting me do that apparently.
Can I get the strip line? Yeah.
Sorry, what?
With just 1 second.
Yeah, like I'm struggling to add people here too, so I'm trying to figure out why this isn't.
I've found the button to add a room, but it doesn't say that there are rooms available. It just says searching for rooms. If you click on the people that are in attendance, that's on the top part of that area.
All right.
I left and came back in, and rooms popped up.
Okay. So are you able to join one then, Reno?
I clicked on rooms. And now I get it's open on the side so I can join.
Okay. So that might be.
That's off a computer.
Think so, but I'm sure there's got to be a way on the phone here. Let's see this. I'm going to.
Like this.
I'm going to do this a self way. I'm going to sign myself up.
Yeah.
Would you like one of us to try adding a room?
People in the rooms already.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that will do to the rooms that are open here. That's my only question. My only question on that. Just give me 1 second. Sorry about this, everybody. This was not a problem that I expected to have. I thought I had it sorted out.
What am I in?
U19.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think even Ellie's in this one.
Okay, sorry, I did see.
Yeah. Never mind. It's all good. Oh, there's a second page. Second page.
Okay. Let me find where my piece is. Sorry, I'm just going to sign myself up to the meeting and on my personal account and see what happens. also doing it on my phone so I can see what it. Yeah. Join event. Okay, why is
I'll go back and listen.
yeah, I'm not seeing even myself how to. Okay. Yeah, I'm really struggling here, folks. I'm sorry about this. Not sure why it's not showing for some people. Very frustrating. So, Rory, I saw you went out and came back in. Did that give you the rooms option?
No, I have nothing.
Nothing. Okay. And my troubleshooting on my phone is not helping. It's not giving me the options either.
I know it might be inundated. Is it possible to just send out the, which I'm sure there may already have been, the emails for the coaches?
I think so. I'll just double check with them and make sure that they're okay with that. But
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they might be receiving 50 emails tomorrow morning or
well,
whatever.
so
but
the other
that's a
piece
shot.
too. I can tell you as well. So which age group are you looking at, Kyle? U17?
Sorry, I'm at U17. Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
just thinking more for the group as a whole. But yes,
Well,
yeah.
Lexi has found us some stuff in the AI world. Apparently, it needs to be desktop for the breakout rooms. So disappointing teams. So disappointing
fair.
teams.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I think that will be the move. I do want to make sure everybody's connected. So we and Julie's on to. So Julie, are you on the are you on the desktop app or are you on a web browser on your computer? Yeah. Okay. So that's disappointing. Teams. People doing everything right and still not being able to get where they need to go. That's unfortunate. Okay. Yeah, I do want to make sure everybody's connected to the coaches and can see can have some visibility, especially before our upcoming sessions. So I will loop back with them and see about their willingness for that. I know for the U19 group, we are planning to add people to a team linked team through our selection process here, so they can have some direct connection with the coaches through that as well. I didn't know how applicable that was going to be for the U17, given that we don't have any sessions before ARC, and then after ARC, we'll kind of have a little bit of a funnel in terms of players getting invitations at that point. But I think maybe what I will do, given the troubles that we've had tonight, I will create a team link team for our U17s as well. and just put everybody who fills out an intake form into that as an opportunity to connect and ask questions that way. Does that sound like a good backup option for everybody? See some thumbs up. Yeah, again, I'm sorry, everybody, that this isn't working the way that it intended to. I really thought I had the breakout room stuff figured out. And it's really disappointing to me that it wasn't working the way that I intended.
I'm sorry. This may be a general question, but if the coach is either U17 or U19, they see potential in a player, whether he's played flanker all his years through rugby, and they see potential for him to be a number 3. Is that something they look at, or do they stick to positional player?
No, so we will have some flexibility. I'm just going to put my presentation back up here, just and flip back a couple slides. So with that question specifically, that's where we're talking about in this positional rugby skills section, kind of the or other positions identified by coaches. So if our coaches see a player, they've got a certain set of skills, and maybe that set of skills isn't being utilized in their preferred position. Maybe those are the necessary non-negotiable skills for a different position, and we can, help that player on the pathway that way as well. So, that stuff's all on the table. I think we want to give our coaches, the discretion to pick the best team that they feel that they can. And if that involves asking a player to play in a different position because it suits their skill set better. And Joe in the chat here as a U19 boys coach. Yes, we would look at mentoring if there is a need to move a player as part of the coach's overall plan, as long as the player is open to it and coachable. There we go. Awesome. So that's a couple pieces on our, common selection criteria here, for sure. Kaylee, go ahead.
One of the pathways for the U19 girls was club. So if you're playing club through, like this month, I have games every Saturday. Do the coaches come to those games for scouting?
So whether we're there or whether we're watching video, we will have the opportunity to see those games and see the players. So that's where, again, I said with that intake form is getting your name in that form. And then our coaches know who wants to be looked at in addition to kind of who's being recommended, right? Angie.
Sorry, just going through the dates for the U19s as well. There's a couple conflicts actually. Like there's Mavericks practices on the 24th, which is the same day as the selection camp, and then like you mentioned, there's the Challenge Cup during the second selection camp. So I just don't know what to tell the kids. Like, do we cancel Mavericks? And like, how do they make this choice?
Unfortunately, with the direction that we've been given by our high performance committee and board to try to get some more sessions in, to try to get some more opportunities for players to play together and gel, this is the kind of conflict that arises. We've kind of looked at it a few different ways, and there's not really an option that would avoid any and all conflicts whatsoever. The piece that I will emphasize for you, because I think at the end of the day, the players need to make their individual decisions about where they want to play and what they want to aspire to. Is I would say back that they should be looking at what's most developmentally appropriate for them as a player. If they have a question about that and they want to talk to the coaching staff about that, like the Wolfpack coaching staff, by all means. But I think that's the biggest piece here. Because again, Wolfpack's not the start of the pathway. Wolfpack's not the end of the pathway. We want players to develop, to grow, to have opportunities, and they should be part of deciding what's best for them for that developmental curve.
So just for the Challenge Cup, 14th, like I don't know what to do here. Do you know what I mean? Like this is a game. So like
Yeah.
Will the coaches be attending this for U19 or yeah.
We'll be trying to. Depends on when exactly the U19 game is versus our camp time, but we will talk to organizers as well for that. As kind of Joe said in the chat here, these camps aren't necessarily non-negotiables. They are opportunities. So to be able to be in the environment, get that exposure, get that opportunity to work with the coaches, but then knowing that players, like, game is the best way to assess a player's skill, right? So we don't want to necessarily close off avenues that way either. I'm sorry, Angie, that it's not a definitive, like, this is what you should do. But we don't want to close off pathways and exclude a player just because they're missing one thing from our Wolfpack side. We want to bring the best team. We want to have the best group on the field. And so we'll work to identify who those are and then what's most developmentally appropriate for them, right? So again, sorry, I can't give you a definitive, like, this is the answer, but we want to give those opportunities, right? Any other questions from the group here? I'm just gonna looks like we still have quite a few in our breakout rooms. I'll give them a couple more minutes and then I'll close those down and bring them out. But anybody who's here, are there any other questions you have at the moment? See another comment in the chat. Let's see what that's. So your selection camp dates for U19 shouldn't interfere with your, or I guess the conflict may be there with May 24th with the sevens provincials, but I'm just double checking the dates on that because I have that written down here. But the June 14th camp is after the 15s provincials, so it's out of that ballpark. I'm just pulling up the sevens. Okay, so yeah, so the sevens provincials for high school are the 22nd and 23rd of May, not the 24th of May. So there's not a direct conflict there for that. And then in terms of your general high school eligibility, participating with a Wolfpack program, say coming to a camp, does not put you in conflict with their eligibility policy. You are able to come to our Wolfpack camp, participate, and go back to your school team that way. So Rachel, how do we get the information that was shared in the breakout rooms? So that's where we will connect people via Team Linked to have some direct lines to coaches. So if you to give you that opportunity to connect with them. Again, I'm sorry the breakout rooms haven't worked out the way that I wanted to for everybody. That might just be a note that I have to take forward into future meetings, and or use something other than Teams if it's not going to cooperate well, because ultimately it's got to work for all of you as participants, not just for Rugby Alberta as a Microsoft Teams office.
Search your team picked or the ARCs.
Awesome. So I am going to just call our breakout rooms back here and bring them back.
ID counts meaning. Oh, he summoned everyone back.
Yeah. That's the power of the host to summon everyone back.
Really.
Yeah. I'm just checking, make sure everybody on the way. Just last couple coming in. Awesome. Oh, hand up and then down. Okay. So my last piece here, before we take off for the evening, is just to reemphasize these pieces about how we move forward. So big one is the intake form. I've just put it back in the chat here. I took a quick peek at my email and I see lots of people filling it out. So thank you for doing that, and thank you for putting your names in the hat here, so to speak. I will pop my email in the chat as well. If you have any follow-up questions. Again, happy to chat Wolfpack with you, make sure that you have the information that you need. Whole point of tonight is about how we help you plan your participation, plan your interaction, plan to move forward, and hopefully achieve selection and get to put on that, pink, white, and black jersey going here. So yes, snow is almost gone. We're almost ready to go. So I will send you off on a hopeful note that we are snow-free for the weekend and get to, or even for the week for high school games, but get to get out and play the game that we all love. So thank you all for taking the time tonight, and please don't hesitate to reach out. And yeah, we'll let you go for the evening. Thanks a lot, everyone. Okay, there's a hand
Thank
up.
you.
You're welcome.